My name is Art Pennington, and I'm a profiteer. I say that because I use the profit method to dramatically improve your IT process and at the same time dramatically increase your profits. I've been developing custom software for over 40 years. I've founded 4 software companies that have been able to achieve dramatic results for their clients using the profit method. The profit method has been used in many companies, both large and small, all over the United States. It's something that has been evolving for decades and being perfected for decades. It has had success every time it's been tried, every time it's been applied, and it will work for you. A profiteer is a person who uses the profit method to improve the results from an IT department. Historically, CEOs have had a difficult time getting results from IT. It's always been that way. CEOs and their management teams may come up with some very innovative ideas that they want implemented. It might require some new functionality to be delivered in the way of corporate software. And historically, it just doesn't happen. The results don't come. They're either over budget, or take too long to be delivered, or when it is delivered, half of the functionality is not there. It's a terrible problem. And over the past 40 years, I've been able to actually develop some techniques that I've been able to distill now into something called the profit method that solves that problem in a big way. It allows you to have the results you need, not only the results delivered on time every time, but be able to get them with 1/10 the cost of what you would normally expect to pay. And not only that, but innovation is inserted into the process. Innovation is very difficult to deliver, particularly through the IT process. The profit method is really a revolutionary process for creating custom software, creating and maintaining custom software. The simple 5-step process. The first step is you imagine the perfect software for your corporation. You get your management team together and talk about what would be the perfect corporate software solution to run your company, to perfectly match your business plan. Then you create an English language document that explains what that is. This is what we want a system to do. What it'll do, not how it'll do it, but what it will do. Then you turn that document over to a small team of very highly qualified people. No more than 8 people. And they start working on a prototype. They get together and they talk about, all right, how we know what the management team wants the software to do. How are we going to make it happen? So we start creating a small prototype using the 10 principles of the profit method. It's all explained in my book, but there are 10 principles that dramatically reduce the cost of creating custom software. We have your vision statement that can very quickly be put together, describing the perfect software solution for your corporation. And then we have the 10 development principles that are used by a small team of highly qualified people to make that vision a reality. And make that vision a reality in 1/10 the cost of what you would expect, or what would normally expect the cost. Now that process is an iterative process where they start building a prototype, a small prototype of your vision, and show it to you on a regular basis, and get your feedback, get your management team's feedback, get the feedback from all of your employees, and eventually evolve that prototype into something that will be the final product. When the prototype is ready, the system is ready. They use part of the 10 principles is use a platform that allows you to build prototypes, but it's also a platform that allows you to run that prototype in production. So when the prototype is finished, the system is finished. That's part of the efficiency built into the process. Yeah, the profit method is very different than the traditional process. In the traditional process, you don't really know if it works until it's done. I mean, the end user, the person who's going to be using the functionality, doesn't know if it's right until the system is written. The profit method is very different in that it's an iterative process where the solution evolves. And just like Picasso, when the masterpiece is done, you know it. Just as when Edison knew the light bulb was done because he plugged it in and it worked. When you get the final product that matches your vision, you know it. Mr. CEO, you're probably not happy with the results you're getting from your IT department. I can almost without a doubt say that your IT department is bloated, inefficient, and has the wrong focus. You know, I haven't seen your IT department, but virtually everyone is like that. Bloated in that you could easily get satisfactory results, even phenomenal results, with 20% of the people you currently have. Inefficient in that using the profit method, you can get the results you need for 1/10 the cost. And wrong focus. Well, most IT departments are focused on today's business. Now, you have to run today's business, of course, but the focus should not be that. Over 80% of IT budgets today are spent just keeping the existing software running. And that's the wrong focus. There's nothing left for the future, nothing left to invest in the future and get the results that are required for success. Henry Ford had the same kind of problem. You know, back in about 1905, Henry Ford was trying to sell automobiles to every American, you know, but he had a problem. He couldn't produce them inexpensively enough. The price he had to charge for the automobile at that time was about $900, way out of the price range of most Americans. So he tried messing with the process, he tried changing the process, he tried putting pressure on his people, and they, of course, just got frustrated and had a hard time even keeping people. At the time, he could only produce, it took about his entire factory 12 hours to produce one car. And it was way too inefficient to have the price point he needed so that automobiles could be afforded by every American. So as most people know, of course, the answer was the assembly line. Now, he wasn't the first person to dabble with the assembly line, but he was the first person to make it successful. And his solution was changing the process. It wasn't the people, you know, it wasn't a people problem, it was a process problem. The same way we have a process problem in IT today. It's not the people. The IT people are well educated, they're wonderful people, they work hard to do their job, they try to do their job right, they're just not doing the right job. The profit method can explain to you and give you a blueprint of what the right job is. Now, Henry Ford was able to instill the assembly line process, and the result of that was he could build a car in one and a half hours instead of 12 hours. So he was able to reduce the cost of an automobile by 75%. Not only that, he doubled the wages of every one of his employees and cut their work week. That was a tremendous boost in efficiency. And we're talking about the same kind of boost of efficiency in the IT process with the profit method. Creating custom software is a creative process, you know, and the profit method allows you to just create a statement of your vision and then allow the creative process to take over and make that happen. You know, when Thomas Edison wanted to invent the light bulb or wanted to create the light bulb, he didn't create specifications for it. He didn't determine anything in advance as far as the materials he was going to use or what it would look like or how he would go about building it. He just had a vision. And his vision statement would have been, I want to create a device where when I hook it up to electricity, it emits light. That was his vision for a product. And from then on, everything was creative. He kept creating prototypes over and over. He tried things that didn't work, he tried things that worked, he kept what worked and kept going, and eventually he ended up with, of course, the light bulb. And he knew when he was successful because he plugged it into electricity and it emitted light. He knew when it was done, knew when he was done. It's very different than today's process in that we think of IT and creating software as an engineering process, a process where you create all of the specifications in advance. An IT specialist will talk to an end user and try to design a system, document every piece of that system, every field, every record, every character on every screen, and turn this document over to the end user and expect them to sign off on it. Well, the end user, first of all, doesn't really understand most of the IT terminology in technical specifications, and they can't tell. It's not a picture of what they're getting. It's just a paper with words on it. So for the most part, they just sign off, hoping that they'll actually get what they ask for. Those specifications, then, those rock solid specifications, are turned over to a programmer to actually code. Now, they may not reflect what the user is actually expecting to get, but the programmer knows exactly what to code. The creativity is taken out of the process at that time. As soon as the specifications are complete, everything is decided. That's like taking Picasso and having a designer design a paint-by-number set. And then you give it to Picasso, and it tells him what colors to put where. That's not really the way Picasso worked. He kept putting the paint in the right place, and if he didn't like it, he'd change it. And he would know when it's done. He would know when he had a masterpiece. And that's the kind of process that the profit method creates and delivers. Well, it does three things. First of all, it eliminates the failure rate. 2 out of 3 software projects fail. They're either canceled outright or don't deliver the functionality that's needed. And the ongoing cost. The 80% of existing IT budgets is devoted to just keeping current software running. The profit method eliminates that problem. And the functionality. The average software project only delivers about 52% of the required functionality today. The profit method allows you to deliver not only all of the functionality required, but it injects innovation into the process. Anything you can dream up, anything that your management team can get together and think of that might be beneficial to help people do their jobs can be delivered readily using the profit method. If it's so good, why isn't the world using it? That's a very good question. And I think there's several reasons for that. One is that it's not obvious. Many really simple inventions aren't very obvious. Things like Velcro and things like sticky notes. Very simple inventions, but why did it take so long to come up with the idea? They're just not obvious. The profit method is very simple, and it's easy to understand and follow, but it's not obvious. I think that's one of the reasons the world isn't using it. Also, wrong assumptions. When you're doing a construction project like building an office building or building a bridge, they're generally created on time, and they work. They don't fall down. So it's normal and even reasonable to think of building software as being something similar to an engineering process, something similar to a construction process. But it's actually not. Those are wrong assumptions. So the world today, the IT world today, goes about trying to build software the same way using an engineering process, the same way you would construct buildings. And it's not like that at all. And history is on its side. It's always the way it's been done. We've historically tried to just improve on the engineering process by adding technology. We come up with all kinds of new technology to introduce into the process to try and improve it. We've had Java, we've had .NET, we've had things like Agile process, all kinds of new technology that are supposed to make things better, but they don't, they never have. 40 years worth of new technology, and we still have the same 2/3 failure rate. Also, we're always trying to add controls into the process. We think more controls will help, and more auditing, more desk checking, more controls of every nature have been introduced, but they don't help either because the process is wrong. We can keep trying to add layers to the process, but we only make it more complex. What we need to do is simplify it to a creative process instead of an engineering process. I know the profit method sounds unbelievable, and I would expect that kind of reaction. Most people who hear about it, it's got to be unbelievable because there aren't many models of this that exist today. There aren't many people doing this. But I've applied it many times throughout my 40-year career. I've always been a student of failure. You know, you learn a lot more from your failures than you do from your successes. And I've had 4 software companies over the past 40 years. And over the course of those 40 years, I've developed these 10 principles and applied them through many software development efforts all over the nation, through many different companies. One of the most successful, I'd be an example, Keyport Life Insurance Company in Boston. We developed a custom software solution for them. As a direct result of that solution, they were able to double their business without hiring any additional staff. And at the same time, they cut their IT costs by over $1 million a year. So just imagine what that kind of results would do to your bottom line. You know, this is a method that it's not a theory. It's been proven in practice many times. Big companies, small companies, all over the country. There are many examples cited in my book of successes that have been achieved using this method. Profit method is for any company that has an IT department, any company that's large enough to need custom software. You know, every company is unique. Many companies try to, when they get large enough to need some form of automation, first they'll use what I call horizontal software. They'll use Excel spreadsheets or use Word or maybe some little package that they can buy to help them. But eventually they get large enough that they actually need something unique for them. Every company is unique. You try to differentiate yourself in the marketplace. And by definition, you're unique. So corporate software has to be written just for you in order to be right. You might be able to buy a package that's written for companies like yours. If you're a life insurance company, you might buy a package that's designed for life insurance, but it won't exactly fit your company. In order to get the optimum results and optimum effects on your profits, it has to be something custom developed for you. I've used the profit method in small companies from 20 employees that was large enough to need some kind of automation. I've used the profit method in large companies, large international global corporations. Profit method is a method for creating custom software efficiently and delivering it on time. So anyone who has a need for custom software has a need for the profit method, as long as you're large enough to need software. How do you get buy-in? Yeah, it's definitely going to be an issue because the profit method is a very different way of creating software, creating and maintaining software than any IT person would be used to. So every person's job will be changed, and if change itself, even if it's positive change, is scary. It's scary to most people. So it's a matter of several things. One is education. If the your IT people understand that the new process is better, just as Henry Ford's people ended up understanding that the new assembly line process is better. They obviously liked it a lot because they got their salary doubled and they got their work weeks cut. So I don't know if you would be able to do that with your people, but education is certainly the first step down that road. And the other aspect is, and also part of the education, is career potential. You know, there are not many CIOs that end up being CEOs, and they all want to be CEOs for the most part. And it's really because they don't deliver results. You know, when you deliver results, you get promoted. If the CIO were able to actually deliver all of the results that your management team wanted every time, well, he'd be CEO somewhere. And so looking at the career potential, I think it's another part of the equation here, is that if they understand that using the profit method, they can actually begin delivering results. I call it moving away from the children's table. The CIO is so focused on keeping today's software running and making sure that the transactions that are entered actually get processed for tomorrow's business, that they lose focus of what their primary role should be. The primary role should be helping the management team instill business transforming results for improving profits. They should move away from the children's table and get to the adults table and start focusing on the future. Another issue is support. You know, if the transformation in the IT department toward using the profit method is backed by the CEO, from the CEO on down, and everyone understands that it's going to happen, then there'll be a lot less complaining about it, and your IT people will be more apt to accept the coming change. Another example, you know, your IT people can come up to speed on the profit method, see what it's about, and try it. Try a small project and see if it works. And it will work, and they'll like it. You know, that's another way to get it in. Start small. Start with a small project so they can see that it actually works. They're going to adopt it and want to use it if they see that it will help their job, help them do their job better. Please call me. I'm available. I'm more than willing to go to your place and talk about your IT issues, your profit issues, and see if there's something that the profit method can do to be helpful. I can give a presentation to your management team. I'll give a presentation to your entire company, all at no cost. Just if you're interested, give me a call. I'll be there.